The Nelson family can boast 3 generations of chart-topping hits, and you can enjoy the music and hear their story through Ricky Nelson Remembered, coming to the Fargo Theater this weekend. And starring in the show, the blonde twins that many 90s kids will remember, Matthew and Gunnar Nelson. Welcome to North Dakota Today.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Well, we're very excited to visit with you guys. Everyone loves Can't Live Without Your Love, of course, a big hit from the 90s. But this story goes way back before you two hit the charts, right? So let's talk a little bit about Ricky Nelson Remembered. We're going to hopefully get some insight into your family and all the history that has been put into this show. So let's just talk a little bit about this show, Ricky Nelson Remembered.
Well, first of all, we've been doing the show for a little while. I brought a little bit of old school visual aids for those people that kind of maybe remembered 1990. It was kind of a blur.
It's Farrah Fawcett and Cheryl Teague
right here. Swedish chicks right here, yes. But that is not the show we're going to be doing at the Fargo Theater on Sunday. We actually put a show together about 20 years ago in honor of our father, Ricky Nelson, who was arguably the most televised rock star in history. He was on The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, 435 episodes. Family television show. We actually just restored it in 4K high def. It's coming out this year. Big news for the Nelson family. But this was a guy who, in the beginning of his career, was single-handedly responsible for smuggling rock and roll into mainstream American living rooms, and then reinvented himself as a country rocker with the song Garden Party years later. And throughout all the years Matthew and I were touring with our band Nelson, we always had people and promoters coming up to us asking us to play our dad's songs. And we thought it would be kind of disrespectful to put one or two, in our set. So we put just a specific show together that incorporates all the video from Ozzie and Harriet that we get to pull from. Our dad's great hits like Traveling Man, Hello Mary Lou, Lonesome Town, Poor Little Fool, Believe What You Say.
Garden Party, of course.
And we put together a really, really cool show that's just been building and growing over the years. And we haven't taken it to Fargo yet. We're looking forward to it because we love Fargo.
All of the songs, just classics. You hear the titles and you can just hear them playing in your head. They really do stand the test of time. Can you talk a little bit about why this show is still cool?
Well, our biggest problem is that he had so many hits, we could do an 8-hour show for real. I mean, the guy sold 500 million singles in his career. And there were only 2 artists that had #1 rock albums in the 50s, Elvis and Ricky. You know, our dad was right there for a while, especially when Elvis went to the military. And so what we decided to do was really incorporate one thing that we had, which is probably the world's greatest home movies. You know, when you have the Ozzie and Harriet show and decades of interviews and stuff. And frankly, our dad was our best friend. So when people come to see this show, yes, they get to see the Nelson twins. They know us. We do our own versions of these songs. But I think it's because his sons loved him, and people pick up on that. And I think that's one thing that's carried our family through all these generations is our love for music. And really, that was the through line in the family. We're the only family to have 3 generations in a row of #1 hit makers, according to the Guinness Book. And so, you know, we might tip our hat a little bit at our past as well. But for the most part, this is all Ricky Nelson and a great time.
Okay, but you guys also have some other great stories. I mean, the hits are the hits, and we love them, we know them. But I read some stuff like maybe you guys had like the coolest babysitters ever, like Mama Cass from the Mamas and the Papas, living next door to the Beatles' George Harrison. Is this true?
It was just our normal. You know, people ask us what it was like growing up in the house, and for us, you know, we weren't really impressed when guys like David Crosby would stop by, or Linda Ronstadt, or Bob Dylan was that homeless guy that was kind of lurking in the living room and stuff. You know, when you're a kid, you don't really know. And for us, because we were surrounded by people who were always writing and singing and could harmonize right on the spot, and you had these great luminaries from that Southern California scene that was happening in the mid to late 60s all over the house all the time. It was really great social proof for the 2 of us as we were starting out that you could do this. It was absolutely possible, and we're really grateful for that.
And I love the history, 3 generations. How long, you said you could do 8 hours. Let's talk about how long the show actually is and how people can get tickets. It's happening this weekend.
Well, of course, it's a modern world. They're available online either at the Fargo Theater website or at nelsontwins.com. We can sell you tickets there. The show's 75 minutes. It's best described as a high-energy rock concert meets an A&E biography episode. We kind of cut to the video and do the whole thing. And we give people a lot more than just the music, but the songs are great unto themselves. I mean, like you mentioned, Traveling Man, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, Mary Lou, Poor Little Fool, Lonesome Town. These are staple songs of the 50s and 60s. And then we go into his whole country rock phase, which is what we grew up with. We were there when he wrote Garden Party and the stories behind that. And he was one of the, if not the only, teen idol that reinvented himself with a completely different genre of music and had as big or a bigger success with that, which is cool. I think our father's journey can be nutshelled in the fact that he was so amazingly, well, he was beautiful, but he was also so popular that it kind of was an albatross around his neck, and he had to kind of grow up through that.
So popular, so talented. I don't know where. Oh, there you guys. You're back. I could talk the whole hour with you guys today. It's fascinating. You have great stories, but I think people are just going to have to get their tickets, see the show. It just sounds amazing and so entertaining. Happening this weekend, Sunday at 8 o'clock at the Fargo Theater. Guys, thank you so much for spending a little time with us.
Well, thanks for having us, and we really do look forward to coming to Fargo. We've got a lot of history with that town. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Can't wait to see the show. All right, stay with us. Coming up next here on North Dakota Today, we're checking in with Maude Canna.